It's a pivotal weekend on the Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour as the World Players of Handball have taken the trek to the Bay Area for another exciting weekend. Handball players from Canada, Mexico, Ireland, and the United States are gathering points and with a couple stops left in the season have circled San Francisco and the Olympic Club on their calendars. It's moving week as the race for the top 8 spots in the rankings heat up. With the World Players of Handball and ESPN3. Welcome back to the Olympic Club in San Francisco. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside broadcast partner for this match, Emmett Pichotte, local legend, club champion, one of the ambassadors of the Olympic Club for the last 10 years or so. You've moved down to the area. I mean, of course you were born here, but you've come down to the area again as you got back from your studies. You've made this a home. You've had a child. You got married. And now you're in the broadcast booth. Can it get any better than this?
No. I mean, I could have been in the court.
You could have been in the court.
Last match, but yeah.
With all of that, and you could have been in the court.
So this should be a good match.
Yeah, we have Luis Cordova, who has been in a position of having to move from Atlanta, Georgia, back to El Paso, Texas, where he just bought a house. So he says, I have to admit my conditioning isn't where it's supposed to be. I'm moving a family, and it's very difficult to get into the court to work out. Going up against a guy that's one of the hottest players right now, Vic Perez, who's serving the ball.
Yeah, Vic is never going to tire. He's ready to run sprints after this match, no matter what the outcome.
That's true.
Receiving serve is Luis Cordova from Juarez. He's ranked number 4. Serving, Vic Perez from Los Angeles, ranked number 5. Good luck, guys. 0-0.
And our referee is a loser. He actually lost the last match to Killian Carroll, so therefore he...
But he beat me, so he's a winner.
You were a loser right after.
Yes.
But now you're a winner. Our referee is Shorty Ruiz. Best 2 out of 3 to 15. Breaker also 15.
That serve he has, that kind of lob overhand serve, works really well against Daniel.
0-0.
But I'm not sure that it works well against Luis. Kind of neutralizes it, pushes Vic in the backcourt.
Wow,
nice shot.
Ball just skipped out of there. Very fast moving ball here.
0-0.
This is the men's quarterfinals.
And Vic is very fast. He doesn't really look it. Especially when you're playing him, you think you could pass him easily. Catches up to everything.
Side out.
I think it really does help a guy like Vic, we've seen some major growth from,
0-0.
to have players like Marco Chavez, Mondo Ortiz during his development down at the Los Angeles Athletic Club, to name just a few. A lot of good players from that club. But he's like a sponge. You could able to pick up
2-0.
all the good things from those guys.
For sure. He's very dedicated. I mean, he's training all the time.
Side out.
Whenever I go down there, I can get a match with him every day almost. And
0-2.
after our matches, he's in the weight room and on the treadmill. And
Short.
That's why I bring an ice pick and put it in my handball bag.
Second serve.
So when I'm out in the parking lot, while they're stretching and doing all that, they won't be able to drive home.
That makes sense.
That's
what I was thinking you were going to say, but I wasn't sure.
You didn't know where I was going to go with that ice pick, did you?
Nice shot. Luis is just kind of moving them all over the court.
Side
Beautiful pass shots.
Luis has got tons of confidence. He won
2-0.
2 stops already this season.
Short.
Well, that'll build your confidence.
Second serve.
The second serve is nice. I've started to use it a little more.
A little underhand throw in?
Yeah, when I was early 20s or so.
Point.
And then Marcos kind of started using it.
The ball sounded like it broke on that flat
I think
kill.
it did.
That's frustrating too, but boy, yep, it did. So a second serve underhand throw in.
That's
All
a
right.
replay.
And you used to do it, I guess it would be on second serve, but I've seen you do it
2-0.
even on a first serve.
Yeah.
If it's in the right situation.
Yeah.
Second serve.
Here
And
it
he
is.
puts a little spin on it. See how he kind of went under the ball there?
Right.
And it's just enough to kind of throw it off the opponent and make them think a little bit more. So the more you can make them think about their shot, you're in a better position. Great passes again. He missed that a little. And
Side
Vic
out.
makes him pay for it. He tried a 2-wall pass a little bit and hit it a little thin.
0-2.
What's interesting about that underhand serve is that Vic plays Marco Chavez a lot, and you would think that Vic would know how to defend that underhand serve as good as anybody, which would then
Side out.
force Luis Cordova not to even attempt an underhand serve. But
It's true.
we'll see if Luis gets points off
2-0.
of it.
Yeah. And it's probably in practice too. There's a little less pressure, so he's probably trying more with that serve than he would. And while he's in here, he's
Side
probably
out.
a little nervous to try those types of things. So, we'll see if he does.
0-2.
If you serve that to Max Langmack, it's actually in his
Point.
strike zone, and he rolls it out flat.
Yeah. That's a good point.
1-2.
I have to say that
Side
Vic
out.
looks a little tight.
Yeah, I agree with you.
2-1.
Maybe not bending down as much.
Mm-hmm.
These guys play a lot. You guys play a lot of handball in just a matter of a couple days, and it's just really very difficult on your body.
It's so hard.
Point.
We had one player yesterday that played a couple rounds of ball, then
3-1.
lost in the round of 16, but then had a playoff match. He said, I did the playoff match, but after 4 games yesterday, I'm not going to do the 5th one tomorrow morning first thing. I'm not, so I'm not going to play.
It's understandable. I mean,
That's what I said. Understandable.
Yeah.
You can't be upset with
1-3.
that.
no.
4 games. You think they last almost as long as a tennis
Point.
match would, and in tennis it's 4 games in 4 days
Yeah.
or 5 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Here it's 4 games in 1 day, and it's a sport that's much more
2-3.
aggressive
grueling,
on your
yeah.
body. It's very tough.
Side out.
Vic is starting to get in a bit of a groove. He hasn't had a good serve yet. Yesterday he was really putting a
3-2.
lot of reverse on the ball and serving it straight down the line with ease. Today he's pinching the side wall a little bit too much. So we'll see if he gets in the groove. Luis keeps driving his left over again,
Point.
and then putting it away when he gets a setup.
It seems that Vic has this propensity of
4-2.
wanting to stick his left hand out,
Mm-hmm.
when a ball's driven
Short.
at him.
Short.
He
And
does.
You saw as he was walking back, he was like, playing with
Second
his
serve.
left, like flipping his hand over the top, trying to say, you need to control this.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I mean, he has Vic playing mainly defense, kind of just barely getting the ball back. That one,
Side out.
Luis tried a risky shot, tried a kind of a kill pass in front of him. Came up a little bit
2-4.
too high.
I haven't played Luis in singles, but it seems like
Short.
he hits a heavy ball, and you're always constantly having to kind of be off balance,
Mm-hmm.
Second
having
serve.
to almost defend yourself
Yeah.
from the ball.
It's true. That's his game. You're never in a really good spot.
Side out.
And then he's really developed that strange
4-2.
kind of open stance left-handed kill.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his left was always his weak spot, and recently it has become pretty strong. I mean, it's still not as strong as his right. He can put his right away pretty much every time,
Point.
just like that.
Well, that right front to corner, front right to across the
5-2.
front is
Mhm.
just amazing.
Yeah, I played him in the national, I guess it was the quarterfinals when he was 19 or so. And he was so young, he had like a fro as a haircut.
Side out.
And his right hand was so good. Anytime I gave him a shot with his right, he just
2-5.
put it away in that right corner every time. But after a while, I started knowing, oh, you only kill it in the right corner. So I started going up there. And then the last 5 years or so, he's developed that 2-wall pass. So he mixes the right corner with the 2-wall pass.
And that keeps you in your spot,
Mhm.
right? Because if you run up there, he's going to exploit you.
Exactly.
It's a nice shot there
Point.
from Perez. And a point now for Vic. Vic wearing the black shirt. Luis Cordova, if you just tuned in, is returning the serve here.
3-5.
There was a good camera view of Luis's wife. Areli, I believe is how you say her name.
And she's a singer.
Yeah, I'd like to see you two kind of collab.
That'd be awesome.
Vic, did
Side
he
out.
twist his ankle there?
This is kind of a tiring match to watch, actually. If they keep playing like this, they're going to be
5-3.
pretty tired at the end of this match.
I was wondering why you put your head on my shoulder. Not that type of tiring. I get it. All right.
Nice shot, but he missed the corner.
Is Luis Cordova one of the hardest hitters on the tour?
If he is,
6-3.
I haven't noticed,
Okay.
but maybe. Daniel recently has been starting to hit it
Point.
pretty hard.
There's
I'd have to
Luis's
think
wife.
about it.
First
There's
time
your
out.
future
We're back in 7-3.
duet partner. You know, we were able to sit down and talk to Luis about his strengths and also Vic's strengths. Luis told us about Vic's strengths and weaknesses a little bit earlier. Some pretty important things, and Karamak has that on tape. Let's go to that really quickly.
I'll be trying to just play my game, play steady. I know Vic can get real hot, so I'll try to get him off his streaks when he gets hot and just do my best. I think his right hand is real strong. He can really put it down when he gets on fire. He kills it a lot. He has a good serve on the crack when he gets that on. So he's like real streaky. If he gets on fire, then he can score a lot of points. I feel all right. Not the best I've ever felt, but I feel good. I feel good today. I had good. Felt like I was putting the ball where I wanted and stuff. So I feel good.
As we go back into the court here. Yeah, he doesn't want to make any excuses. He knows he's not on top of his game, but sometimes you get through these tournaments, you know, a couple rounds in, and all of a sudden you're back on it, you know, and it can happen just like that.
7-3.
You know, the biggest thing about you guys is trying to find that moment when you're able to peak right at a tournament, and you don't feel comfortable coming in, but then the peak happens.
Yeah. I think I'm peaking today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to peak
You're only
yesterday.
one day off.
Yeah.
You're only one day off.
It was close, though. Nice pass.
Side out.
Nice shot there from Vic.
It can really put it down, man.
I like how our referee's wearing that Foot Locker
3-7.
referee shirt. I asked him if he
Nice
got my
serve.
shoes up here yet. And he said he didn't understand what I was talking. I guess I was talking to somebody else. They couldn't find a 13 and a half, so
4-7.
asked him where his whistle was. Couldn't find it, I
It's
guess.
amazing he didn't get those
Point.
jokes.
He didn't understand what I was
Yeah.
talking about. I guess you didn't hang out at a mall during your 20s. Your loss.
Point.
You don't think I got this body from eating health food. This is waffle
6-7.
cones right here, baby.
Vic is making a run. And just as Luis said in the interview there, Vic is streaky. And he did exactly the things that Luis said he was going to do. He had a serve that cracked out on the left wall. Then he killed it with his right hand.
That's an
That
avoidable.
looks like an avoidable, yeah. Good call.
No arguing at all from
Point.
Luis Cordova.
7-7.
7-7, just like that.
Short.
Yeah, I hadn't really noticed, but Vic is a bit streaky. Because he can just rattle off points really fast. That was very quick.
Yeah, really
Second
quick.
serve.
Right after that timeout.
Mm-hmm.
He also has his coach sitting right there in the front row or second row.
Mm-hmm.
Just one little piece of advice could possibly help
Point.
out, as Marco Chavez is back there. He comes off the court during the timeout. It could be just one little tiny thing.
This is a dangerous match, actually, for Luis, because Vic has been training. He's ready for this. He's played on these courts several times. Luis had a little time off, like you said, due to moving. And Vic is very strong. He's getting stronger. He's probably been watching these videos of Luis. There's Marcos. And there's Daniel. And I think that, you know, Vic is has the chance to win this for sure. We'll
Resuming
see.
play. 8-7.
This is game number 1. And he hits a crack right after that towel break.
Yeah, that was a nice
Side
rally
out.
for Luis to win. He was on the defense the whole time.
7-8.
Let's see if this serves effective at all.
Skipped it or
Ball broke, I believe, but
good call? I mean, it was pretty effective. I mean, Vic was running everywhere.
yeah, because, you know, Vic had to pop that ball to the ceiling. It looked like he was handcuffed as he popped it up there, which then I believe generated a back wall setup for Luis, who didn't really execute it, but it could have been one of those tweeners where he played a little bit safe himself. This ball coming off the back wall, especially this ball coming off the back wall, just is a little bit more unpredictable. So he might have played it safe.
It's understandable.
But I did see Vic kind of make a last-second adjustment on that back wall shot. So I would be surprised if Luis
7-8.
starts noticing those things and goes to that underhand serve just to start off.
It's a good call.
But again, it could be this camera angle too.
It's interesting. This is the exact same rally.
Side out.
Luis missed the shot a little bit. He was going for a pass down the left and ended up clipping the sidewall, but he got him over on the
8-7.
left, then he tried to pass kill down the right. Vic ran over there. Vic hit it to the left, and then Luis tried to pass him down the left, but miss hit.
Side out.
Exact same rally as the one before.
7-8. Side out.
The
Uncharacteristic for
Time out, Vic.
Vic to be calling for these towels. But I think Luis is perspiring more, and Vic wants it cleaned up, and it's right in the spot he wants to serve. So referee needs to step in and get Luis Cordova to change a shirt, possibly. I'm speculating here, but
Well, this is the only shirt he brought to the tournament, so they're going to have to get him a new one.
I don't see Vic taking a lot of towel timeouts.
8-7.
He's being really thoughtful. I mean, I just think that Luis is in a bit of trouble here with Vic, but we'll see.
Vic just barely misses that shot,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a
That's
huge
the
setup
one
that
he
he's
missed, yeah. Oh, nice kid.
should have lost this rally. Now he's back in
He's gonna win it,
charge.
though.
Unbelievable.
Point.
That's one of those rallies that really frustrates you as a player. You had 3 or 4 times you're in pole position and you put yourself out of it.
9-7.
Right there, Luis lost the rally on that shot.
Yes, he did. He was in between, should I go for a kill or should I go for a pass? And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
In between shot.
Oh, Vic loses this rally.
Hold it.
Oh, that's tough.
It's a replay.
Couldn't really tell from this angle. Didn't look like a bad call.
Not a bad call, but Luis didn't do himself any favors by hitting that ball up so high on
9-7.
that kill shot. He could have hit that a little bit lower and probably won that, regardless of the
Short.
Kind of left it up. Second serve coming here. See if Vic goes underhand.
I called the ball short. Both agree. Second serve.
So he's going to do the lob type Z serve. It's really weird. He hits it kind of soft, but you can't fly kill it. Look at this. Nice
Point.
rally.
Vic does that as good as anybody, and I guess his opponent is one that also knows how to do it. But clipping that
10-7.
left sidewall first with the strong
Short.
hand, but he hits it with so much power, but yet the ball stays up
Second
front.
serve.
Yeah, I got to ask him how he does that.
It's very interesting. You see a lot of other players do that, and the ball seems to want to spin out and go fast to the back wall, but he's able to keep it down somehow. But it's hit with a ton of power.
Yeah.
Must be like a natural or either a severe reverse type of spin.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. Nice pass. Nice get.
Point.
Another point now for Perez.
Yeah.
11-7 here.
11-7.
See, Vic's able to get everything. Nice
Side out.
shot. See, Luis did 2.
7-11.
He changed it. He went kill with his left, and then he went straight down the middle. And Vic thought, oh, yeah, okay, he's going to go back to the left
Point.
with this shot. Tricked him.
8-11.
Luis doesn't want to lose this game.
Short.
Now, Vic made the
Second
finals
serve.
of New Orleans this year, and I believe it was Daniel Cordova that he defeated in the semis to make it there.
And it was that overhand lob serve that was the most effective in that match that Daniel did not know what to do with. And so Luis thought about it all night long, what he should do to return that serve with some sort of, force or
Point.
Direction.
appropriate shot selection. Yeah. And
9-11.
he managed. You can see it here that he's able to put
Point.
Vic on defense rather than offense with that
30
serve.
seconds.
Looks like he flipped a switch here, too.
Yeah, he did.
It's your second one, Vic.
Saying he's going to be a little bit more direct, and there's a 30-second timeout. You know, we talked to Vic Perez a little bit earlier. Here's Vic sharing his strategy taking on Luis Cordova. I want you to take a look at this.
Every time we play, we always get into these battles. So I think I might have to change up a little bit different. He got me in New Orleans. And so I think if I can change out the pace, maybe start off strong and then maybe slow it down throughout the rallies, I might give myself a chance. So, I mean, he kind of knows my game a lot. So he was anticipating a lot of my shots in New Orleans. So I think if I go for kill shots and maybe pass shots that are more closer to the side wall, I think it could give me a better chance for sure.
Kind of what we've been talking about.
Yeah. So I suppose he kills it down the center of the court. Now he's going to go towards the sidewalls.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah. That's a
Point.
nice shot.
See, now you see a little bit more moxie from Luis in this last little 3 or 4 point run.
11-11.
He's not letting it go. Nice serve.
Nice get.
Nice. That was beautiful.
Now 12-11, and this looks like a different human.
12-11.
You know, sometimes you get frustrated with yourself and you say, I'm just going to play harder here, and then you do, and this is the result. You know, you're just a little extra MPH, a little bit more aggression, and now a full 60-second timeout. And I think that's smart. I mean, you have them. You're not going to, you can't trade them back in later.
No.
Might as well use them, but this might help out Vic a little bit. The 30-second timeout did not help.
At all.
Yeah, no, it seemed like it made Luis even more upset. You see Daniel, brother Daniel, giving some advice here. Not much you need to say to somebody that just went on a 6-point run.
No.
Have you ever sat back and thought about all the different conflicts in handball that exist? You know, Daniel Cordova, we break it down to this way in a lesser form of what I'm really going with it, but Daniel, who's one of the top players in the world, but he wants to give advice to his brother.
It's true.
And then when that's successful,
I see.
He then ends up playing his brother, and they don't want to play each other, of course.
No, they actually give each other advice while they're playing.
While they're playing.
Yeah.
It's a very awkward
13-11.
thing.
Short.
It's like, you know, if whatever you say is less successful, that actually helps
Second
your
serve.
tournament chances when you would play Vic, who you've never lost to.
Nice pass. Look at this. It's great.
Point.
Well, that's really good handball right there. Now it's game point, and it looks like
Yeah, he really changed things up.
14, game point.
this
Takes
is the
11.
type of Luis Cordova that has 1-2 stops this
Point
year, and he
game.
gets it, and that's
Wow.
a great serve right there. A little reverse.
Excellent playing at the end of that match.
I think that ball triple bounced the back wall
yeah.
as Luis Cordova really flips the switch here. Watch this amazing serve here.
Wow.
Yeah, I said reverse. I
think
meant
that
to say
slid.
natural.
I think that slid on the ground.
Well, you hit it so hard, it looked like it did. Earlier today, it was Killian Carroll taking down our referee, Shorty Ruiz, 15-11, 15-4. That featured some pretty cool handball action in game number 1. And we saw some really cool action here in game number 1 between Vic Perez and Luis Cordova as Luis pulls it out. Let's go to Kara Mack, who has Marco Chavez here courtside. Kara?
And I'm sure some insight on this game 1 because you know Vic Perez very well, somewhat his coach here on the sidelines, but take me through this game 1 and what you saw him do right, but what he's going to have to do even better here in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of started off, pretty tough. Like Vic couldn't really get into the game. 4-2, 5-3. Then it was about 7-5, and then Vic made a comeback. I mean, he was making great shots and, getting really low on his, his shots, bending his legs very well. He took 11-7 league, but, Cordova went on that serving spree where, like, he couldn't return it, and the fly kills from Cordova was just, it was too impossible, and, yeah, he loses that match.
The mental game, what does a player have to do to break a streak?
Sometimes you just can't, like you try to call the timeouts and, you try to maybe wipe the floors or just walk around and, ask what the score is just to kind of throw the player off a little bit as he's serving, things like that. But, I think at this point, he was at 13-11 and, it was just too late.
Talk about Vic because you've been through here for his entire history of handball. How has he changed as a player and a person?
Oh, man, as a kid, just 4 years ago, I was beating him all the time. Now it's like the roles have changed around. He's beating me, and he's becoming just a smarter player. His physical, like working out and doing the things he has to do. He's very, he has a good regimen where he's, health foods, fitness and all that. So he's on the right path. It's just going to take a little while for him to, possibly break, into the top 4 or 3. But, he's doing the right things.
What do you love watching him do best?
I like how he gets down on the ball and bends his legs and has that wide stance and uses his body just to really follow through.
Have you learned anything from him? Because I'm sure he's learned quite a bit from you.
I haven't really learned much. I've seen so much in my life. Like,
Health-wise, maybe something. Has he cooked you a smoothie
but like
up?
in the court, no. But like, let's say outside the court, yeah. It's like it's good to be around him because he's always wanting to eat healthy and stuff. So, and I feel bad drinking a Coke, and he's always drinking his water, and so things like that. So like it makes me, drink water.
You have a match coming up just around the corner. Any warm-up that you're going to be heading out to do?
I'll just do the old naughty senior routine. I'll be getting into the shower and warming up, and then into the sauna to change, just to get me sweating, and then hit the ball around in another court, and I'll be ready.
Good. I was going to say the jeans are throwing me off a little bit. Thank you, Marcos.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yep, thank you very much. Well, if he's going to do all that stuff, he better get in
better
the shower
start.
right now. There's only 3 in the on this floor, and there's about 200 people here. Plus, he is supposed to tee off in 23 minutes. So if you are going to pull the old naughty senior, you better start pulling it.
I agree.
Vic Perez looked like he was going to take game number 1 after that big comeback, and then
He did, didn't he?
the flip was switched, or switch was flipped.
Either
I
one.
don't know, but one of those 2 things happened, and Luis Cordova really picked up his game and played the way that we've seen him play earlier in the season when he's won a couple stops.
Beautiful fly kills from him. Beautiful serves. He looked like a different player.
You're watching the World Players of Handball and the continued coverage from the WPH here with ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app. I want to thank Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, as well as Kara Mack and Shay Lowenstein Dave Fink, Lolita DeVincent, and now Emmett Pichot. Emmett, you're working on a doctor's degree. Is that what you're going after?
Well, doctorate.
Doctorate.
So
Luis,
it's,
you're gonna be
it's in
serving.
philosophy and political theory.
Okay.
Very difficult.
And then what is your afterlife on that? You write books?
Okay,
you
second game,
Afterlife
guys. Good
is,
luck.
I want to write
0-0.
books. I want to write and teach, be a university professor.
Short.
So right now I'm just TAing.
Second serve.
So I hold 2 classes for undergrads a week.
Is that at Berkeley?
And that's at University Santa Cruz, but I have the opportunity to go and TA at Berkeley if I want to.
Congrats on that.
Thanks.
You're following, I wouldn't say necessarily your dreams, but it has become your
1-0.
dream.
Yeah, it's up there with dreams.
With all the other dreams that you have.
Yeah.
You have multiple dreams, and you
Point.
seem to be successful at every one of them. But
I try.
congrats on following one of your dreams.
2-0.
Thanks.
Score here is 2-0. You're also a singer-songwriter, and you have multiple albums out.
3-0.
Are you going to work on a new album here in the future?
Yeah, I have
Short.
enough songs for it. I was thinking this summer, but it might not work out. I have to write my dissertation,
Second
and
serve.
that's going to take a lot of time. So probably work on that this summer and maybe an album next summer.
That's great.
Side out.
Now he's done killing it in the corners. He's going straight middle. I mean, when I play him, he just rolls the ball out right in the middle of the court every time.
Right.
So
Going
why
back
not
to
go
the-
back to the roots?
0-3.
The old hymn.
Mm-hmm. He's pinching that corner, the side wall. You know, he wasn't doing that yesterday, and that was
Side out.
effective against Patrick Funchen when he was doing
3-0.
He was kind of coming over the top of it, serving it down the left wall, and it frustrated Patrick because he couldn't do anything
Point.
on the returns. But now Vic is kind of overhitting it, hitting the side
4-0.
wall a little bit, and his service is not effective.
Side out.
That was a good shot there.
Mm-hmm.
You've played on these courts for many years now.
0-4.
How are they different than, let's say, Portland?
Well, I can't recall Portland's front wall.
Tucson.
Tucson, yeah. Tucson's concrete in the front wall and side walls. And this is more like there's something in the back of the walls that absorbs the ball a little bit more, so that it comes off soft off the walls.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like it's bouncing slower. It's just kind of a
Point.
soft
Side
hit.
out.
So you can really, put the ball away in the corners if you want, and yet you can still have
Side
power
out.
behind your shots.
4-0.
It's odd, but it's not as fast, obviously, as cement courts or faster courts.
Are these side walls made out of wood?
Side
It
out.
looks like I
Yeah.
see lines, so it looks like paneling, but that would be so different than the other type of courts that you encounter. Right?
Yeah. It's strange. The floorboards though are beautiful.
0-4.
And they're extremely fast, so it's a good mix. I mean, these are actually the best courts I've ever played on.
Short.
I don't expect anything else from you.
I love them.
Second serve.
I mean, I grew up playing on YMCA concrete courts. Look at this, nice.
Side out.
Luis got up on his horse there, ran up and
4-0.
poked that ball down the right wall.
Short. Second serve.
Can you go into the server's box as a power server and try to hit cracks, and does it work?
Yeah, for sure. I do it, especially towards the end of a game where I want to put the ball away, and I
out.
don't want to rally. I just want to one serve and out.
0-4.
I tend to go for the crack on the left rather than the one on the right, but Luis actually goes for the one on the
Short.
right, and so does Sean Lenning. Unless it's Sean's second serve, which he cracks out every
Second
time on
serve.
the
Yeah,
left, so I
depends
don't
on
know why he's not
wherever
serving
he
that.
wants to serve it. He cracks it anywhere.
That's right.
Deep, short, left, right.
And Eric Torres does a pretty good crack serve
Point.
too on the left. It's about as
1-4.
consistent as Vic's. Vic's cracks out about
Short.
at least 2 a match.
Sound like that ball broke. That was really loud when it snapped off the front wall. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that could be
Second
some of
serve.
these wood panels or planks or whatever they are.
Whatever they are.
I heard that the walls could be filled with sand, possibly.
Well, no, downstairs in the squash courts behind the front wall, there's sand so that it absorbs some of the. But I guess that's how they make all the
Point.
squash courts.
Overhand tomahawk there from
Yeah.
Vic Perez, taking a page out of our referee's book. Ref did that a couple times, and he's
2-4.
being remembered of that by some of the fans here.
He did one on me too. He mishit it actually on his pinky, but it was perfect timing. It rolled out in the left hand into the left corner flat roll.
Mm.
Nice shot. Nice get. Now he's going to go right corner. Nice pass down the left, but he should have probably gone right corner.
Side out.
He wanted to trick Luis, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like he was just going to
4-2.
pound that down the right, but it didn't
Mhm.
happen.
No.
4-2 in game number 2. And there's that deep crack.
This is different than
Point.
game 1. I mean, game 1, Vic looked like he was in control of the
5-2.
entire first part of the game, except for maybe the first 3 points or so. This one, it looks like Luis is
Side
just
out.
kind of running him around, letting him do whatever he wants to do, and and now he's then at the end he's just gonna go run
2-5.
away with it. That's how it looks.
Dictating traffic,
Yeah.
being kind of pushy.
Mm-hmm.
Side out.
He put just enough hop on that over to the right.
5-2. Point.
Wow. Holy smokes. Are you kidding me?
That was terrifying.
6-2.
Jeez.
Short.
That's like Salt Lake City when they
Second
gave
serve.
Sean Lenning a new ball.
That was that. Yeah,
That's how good that was.
That's scary.
What's your biggest fear in handball? Well, that's pretty much it.
Nice pass.
Hold it.
Ooh, tough.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Thought he blocked in the one shot to your right. They tried to pass
It's
him.
hard because Shorty's standing over there on the left, so
It's a replay.
I mean it was somewhat of a replay, but not quite. But based on Shorty's view, I understand.
6-2.
And height.
2 bounces.
Thank you. Side out.
It's tough for Luis because he didn't feel like that first one should have been a hinder call, and then he loses on the next rally. It kind of breaks your momentum a little bit. And he
does.
wasn't really happy with the first call.
2-6. Tao.
Score here is 2-6, game number 2. We're doing the men's quarterfinals, and then we go into the women's semifinals, and then the men's semifinals here on ESPN.
Who's playing next? Is it Dave? Dave Fink?
Yeah, Dave Fink's going to be up against, Daniel Cordova against Marcos Chavez.
Oh, okay. And then Dave is after that?
Yeah, versus Sean Lenning. I believe we'll see some fireworks
2-6.
there.
For sure.
There was fireworks the other night when Fink played women's #1, Katrina Casey, in a practice match. So expect
Who won that?
Fink pulled it out at the end there.
Point.
That's nice.
I like that underhand paddle and then the walkthrough, the Dave Chapman walkthrough. You hit it and then you walk forward
3-6.
to kind of appear that you're getting out of the way when you're really still actually more in the way.
Yep.
Side out. 6-3. Point.
Tough miss. 7-3 now. How much? It's hard to quantify the answer
7-3.
to this, but How much do you think about
Short.
Dave Chapman? Because I do so much, and I know that you guys were
Second serve.
even more close. It must be rough because the sport
It's
is
so hard.
everything about it is Dave Chapman.
Yeah, there was a time actually about 3 months after his death that
Hold it.
I really didn't want to play handball again. I'd hear his voice in the court, and it was hard to play. And I really thought about not playing anymore
7-3.
because he was kind of one of the reasons that I wanted
yeah.
to play in the first place. I always wanted to be
Side out.
like him, and he was first more of an idol of mine, and then he became a really close friend. And
3-7.
there's not a day that goes by. I think about him all the time.
Then there's these moments where somebody will bring something up and it triggers a whole story that you forgot you even had in your brain, right? And then it's the fun moments of Dave
Point.
Chapman.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling sorry for yourself or feeling upset about the situation, then you get one of those where
4-7.
you go, oh my goodness, here's a great story. You have to hear this
Exactly.
one.
It's like he used to have a handball court in his basement. It wasn't like
It was a bedroom.
It was just a wall, right? And there's a door in the way and everything. We had these hinders and all the things that we had to say you can't hit above the screen, things like this. But we would have full-blown matches in there. We'd be sweating. We'd wear our handball gear. We'd have headbands, everything.
I remember that.
And one time
Side out.
I beat him in basement handball. And, I had beat him
First time
before,
out,
but
Luis.
this time he
Big
just
backhand,
had enough because I
7-4.
beat him like several times in a row that he opens up the garage door and he just starts sprinting out and running down his street full force and running towards his street was like on the kind of, there was a dead end, like you could,
Right.
and he was running towards the dead end. And so, he's slow. He was never fast. He had good anticipation on the court, but he's slow. So I see him go off, and I go, where's he going? And then I go, well, I better go get him. So I just kind of run. And, after like less than a minute, I caught up to him. I just looked to him on his left, and he just starts laughing. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going in the gutter. And he said he wants to roll into a little gutter because he's ashamed that he lost to basement handball. It's like 4 times in a row. But then we just laughed about it.
I'm
He came
surprised
back
he knew
in.
where that gutter was located.
I know. He was running right to it.
Yeah, those things, those type of memories are fun.
Time in.
Yeah,
And
I
therefore
miss
his
him.
purpose on
7-4.
Earth was also meant for things like that.
Yeah,
Short.
that's true.
Have a
Second
lot
serve.
of those, and then you're hanging out with your handball buddies and everybody has a story. But nonetheless, that was our little throwback to Dave Chapman, one of the greatest players of all time, passed away almost 2
Side
years
out.
now, but it felt just like yesterday.
It's true.
4-7. Side out.
Vic is tight again. So
7-4.
you remember how the first game started. Vic was tight, missing a little more than he should. Then he loosened up, started being like stronger.
Second
He was
serve.
the strongest guy on the court. And now he's back to being tense and overhitting shots and nervous about putting the ball away. And a lot of that is just due to Luis
Point.
putting a lot of power behind each shot. Great pass
8-4.
shots, really tough serve, and fly killing it more. There's a ton of pressure on Vic Perez right now.
See, that sort of thing. Just being aggressive, taking that extra step forward.
Exactly.
Now part of the Flying Cordova brothers
Nice pass.
Side out.
coming out here. But I've noticed that with Luis, he's not only putting an extra 5 miles an hour on it, he's reversing balls away from Vic. Everything
4-8.
seems to be targeting away, while driving the ball down the walls.
Point.
Great.
That's that.
Great.
I called it good.
That's that Eric Torres.
One agrees. Point. 5-8.
Any video replays recently?
Yeah, we do them. Yeah. Just didn't do it there.
Because that would have been one.
You think that was short?
I'm not sure. I mean, I thought it was questionable. Looked good.
Well, one side
Point.
judge did agree to that. Being a short ball. It was a high crack.
6-8.
It's one of those weird
Yeah.
serves that's not actually a crack. It's more of like just a kill shot off that sidewall. That's avoidable, right? It has to be.
I would say so. And Shorty's right there, so he could have seen that.
But Shorty does that. So
That's just a regular.
that's what he calls handball.
8-6.
That's an interesting return.
Yeah, I
from
like
Vic.
that. In a weird way, I do. Yep, here's the big opening.
Right corner. Overhit it a little. Luis knew where he was going and ends that
Point.
rally. It's great anticipation by Luis.
It's incredible how you guys can kill the ball, you know, in that stand-up
9-6.
position like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to. I would like to do that myself.
Starting to practice.
Yeah,
You know, 36. Decided to.
Thank you.
got to
Side
develop a
out.
new shot.
6-9.
Not certain that it's 6 to 10.
I didn't see the point that he's referring to.
Me neither. But he's adamant that it was. I
Vic
don't
is telling
recall
him
it being
too.
10. Our scorekeeper is pretty darn good, this guy.
6-9.
He's only made probably 30 mistakes over 10 years. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You don't see that in basketball
Short.
very often, where the player, one of the players jumps up. No,
Never, actually.
No, it's
Second serve.
It's 1-11, not 1.
That's a good
10.
point.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. I
And
wonder.
they've got like 15 of them sitting over there. Any number of those guys can step up at any time, but they
Side out.
never do.
9-6.
There's 30 of them between the two teams. Still doesn't happen. Big setup, but Vic hasn't been putting those away.
No,
And you're right. Luis is totally anticipating
Side out.
all of these shots
all
from
of
Vic.
them.
But you saw earlier when Vic decided that he was going to do something completely different, Luis was standing there as well. So sometimes when those things happen, when you say, I'm going to throw this, you know, act like I'm going to go to the left, go to the right, and your opponent's still
6-9.
standing there, it kind of plays on you a little
It's
bit.
true. He's been successful going to that left corner with his right hand. Maybe he did a little more of that. Because that goes to Luis's left primarily when he's standing there, or to his right but jammed.
Point.
And he hasn't been hitting it. So if I were Vic, I'd start going for that, you know, passes down the left
7-9.
and left-handed left corner kill. And not to the right, like that.
Side out.
Yeah.
So Luis is waiting for it.
9-7.
That was a risky move by Luis, and he knew it. He just kind of wanted to end the rally and see if he could do a cross corner kill and throw Vic off, but it was a very risky shot,
Side out.
That was
and he
nasty.
paid the price.
That was a great shot there from Vic Perez.
Mhm.
I thought we'd see a timeout from Luis off that last point there, just because of the momentum change.
7-9.
Now he's going first serve. Now it's 2 in a row here, underhand. That's
Oh,
going
he
to clip, not a good
clipped it,
serve.
yeah.
Well,
Point.
Sometimes works, you know, because you know that the guy only has a couple options. When they have that shot, and you know they want to just
8-9.
end it and put it away. And so if you run up and they miss it just by a centimeter, which is
Point.
likely, you get a setup opportunity.
this is 4 straight now.
9-9.
Yeah, and you're right about that. Because they don't have many options. They have to hit it right down that lane.
That's right.
You've kind of taken away the right
Mhm.
corner. No referee would ever call an avoidable there, so. Oh,
Nice
nice.
pass. Wow, Vic is changing things around here.
10-9.
He's slowing it down, just like he said in his interview. He was going to change pace. It's working.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Side out.
Luis must have put some type of reverse or something on that ball because that fooled
It's your second timeout, Luis.
Vic Perez over there on the
Be
right.
back
Let's look
in
at that
at
replay.
9-10.
See that ball just hit the side wall?
yeah.
Your half
You
timeout.
wouldn't normally see Vic be that far off balance, I don't think,
Mm-mm.
unless that ball did something. Now Luis is going to go back into the server's box, finding himself down here 9-10 after it looked like Cordova was in charge of this second game all the way up until, I would say, 2 minutes ago.
That's true.
And then Vic all of a sudden has gone on a nice 5-0 run.
Yeah. You remember what Luis said? He said Vic is streaky, so he can get on
10
these
seconds.
runs. So I think Luis is just thinking about that. He's called a timeout. Okay, this run is over for Vic. Now I'm going to close it out. You know, he's probably
Right.
thinking something like that. But let's see if Vic can maintain his streak. It'd be a long one. I mean,
9-10.
average streak's probably around 5-6 points, sometimes only 3.
Short. Second serve.
The score of the first game was that 15-11 or 15-9?
11.
11.
Nice pass. Overhit just a tiny bit.
Wow.
And
Point.
Luis makes him pay for that. But it was a tough pass to try and get anything
10-10.
on that.
First time Cordova scored here
Short.
in the last 5 minutes.
It was a good timeout. Break Vic out of his
Second serve.
streak.
Both of these players are doing that underhand serve now. And
Point.
there's another point.
Mm-hmm.
Vic playing too far back.
And Vic is overhitting his ceiling balls. 2 in a row.
11-10. Short.
You think sometimes when your
Second
opponent
serve.
is a little too quick out of the block on that ball that hits that side wall, they can actually put themselves in a bad position because the ball can hit the side wall and target across the court.
Yeah.
They're kind of pretzeled.
What was that about?
Screen.
Oh, Vic.
That was a good get. Screenshot.
I think Vic saw 2 bounces there.
Yeah, that was strange.
11-10.
Look at that serve. Nice return by Vic. He should not go down that right. He pays the
Point.
price every time. There's no harm in going down the left.
12-10.
Luis hasn't really done much.
So the advice would be ground and pound, but ground and pound to the left,
Yeah.
not
Point.
right.
Yep.
And then meanwhile,
And he's
But that
fly
wasn't ground and
killing-
pound
He's
anyway.
fly killing beautiful with both hands.
30 seconds, Vic.
So that streak looks like it ended.
yeah, it's over.
And Luis has taken control again.
4 straight points for Luis Cordova.
And the big difference that I'm seeing on the points that Luis scores is beautiful serves followed up by fly kills. So at the end of last game, he did 3 in a row. This time,
Time in.
same thing. I think he's had 2 beautiful fly kills,
13-10.
both with his left and right, and great serves.
Short. Second serve.
I'm gonna see if this overhit from Vic.
He's been overhitting his ceiling balls a bit.
This is overhit right there.
Yeah, it is. That was amazing. I mean, that
Side
Luis
out.
got that ball. He was on the left side of the court, and Vic had the whole court
10-13.
open. He had a great pass kill over to the right.
Oh my goodness.
Side out.
Oh no. That's got the gallery talking there. That's
13-10.
Head down. In the gallery, everybody's got their
Lord.
head down.
well, everyone's done that in the gallery. That's a sad thing. Today.
Point.
I don't really know what goes on in a person's head when something like that happens.
14.
Depression.
Match point. Place 10.
There you go. Nice serve.
This is
and
match
it's
point.
over. Oh,
Nope.
nice. And Vic has a little bit of control of this rally, so we'll see if he gets in the box again. Yes, he does.
Side out.
Now it's not over. Vic can get on another streak right here.
10-14.
Couple crack serves. And it's
I was close to being
close to
short.
halftime, or close to overtime.
That's
Go down
true.
the left. Let's see if he does it. Nope. Back down the right again.
Wow. That was
Side
a
out.
laser, a little snap of the wrist.
That was how he generated that much power from that stance.
Really, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Watch this on replay, although this is
Look at
match
this.
point. This is
Time
a
out.
real
Boom.
quick snap.
Whoa.
Your second time
That
out.
right there was
Your
like
last
a
time out.
boa constrictor
Yeah.
type snap of the wrist. Can
That
we
was
see that one more
amazing.
time, Chris? Watch. It's so fast, it's almost impossible to see this, but he's snapping his wrist.
This is one of the best shots of the tournament right
Bam.
there. Boom.
Look at that. It's like it's just coming out of like a highlight.
He managed to plant his feet. He didn't take a step into the ball, but he pushed his hips through and pushed off his back foot as he was
Going backwards.
Backwards and using his elbow and wrist solely. I mean, he didn't even follow through all the way over his shoulder, so it was just elbow and wrist. And boom, perfect timing.
It's like snapping his fingers in a way. It's just kind of
Yeah.
getting his wrist to just make that real quick snap. But you're talking about one of the harder hit balls so far in this match.
Yeah, it was amazing.
From that angle. That's where everything is perfect.
Mm-hmm. It was perfect timing. Fantastic shot. Best of the tournament I've seen so far.
It makes you think, the guy's got something like that. Why aren't you using it all the time? And here it is, match point. Goes for the crack, misses it.
He missed it, overhit it a little
Match.
And
bit.
there it is. Luis Cordova taking down Vic Perez, and a little smile there from Lucho, who comes off the court here in game number 2, wins the first one 15-11, and he takes game number 2 15-10 as he will exit the court, and Karamak will be interviewing our champion here as he gets through the crowds at the Olympic Club, where we're holding the Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour in San Francisco. Let's go to Kara now. Kara?
When we talked to you before this match, you called Vic streaky, and you noticed that a little bit in this one. What did you do to make sure that that didn't affect you?
I don't know. I feel like it's not that it affects me. It's more him. If he gets on fire, then there's not a lot you can do. I just keep playing my game. I'm pretty steady, so I just kept playing my game, try to make as many gets as I could, and he started getting a little frustrated, skipped in some, and it just worked out.
You see him using those underhand serves. What were you doing to adjust to make sure that he wasn't going to get the best of you?
I'm kind of used to seeing those slow serves. I do it a lot, and people back home do it a little bit, so it doesn't affect me that much. So I don't think I did anything specifically. I just returned like I normally would.
These quarterfinal matches, when you win them, you know you have to turn right back around for the semis. How do you feel after that one?
I feel good. My right arm's a little sore, but I feel good in general.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, the way that he snapped that ball at the end, your right arm better feel sore. And I'm hoping that it was just from that shot. That was a great display of action there from Luis Cordova. As he wins, will advance now to the semifinals. Emmett Pashot sitting in the booth here. Thanks for being with us today on ESPN, Emmett.
Thanks for having me.
As we will have another great one coming up around the corner. Marcos Chavez, the 44-year-old wizard, will go up against brother of Luis Cordova and two-time WPH Race for 8 champion this season alone, Daniel Cordova. That one is next. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. We'll have more handball action in just a bit on ESPN3, courtesy of the World Players of Handball. Stick with us.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.